And three, two, one. Is it afternoon? Well, it is afternoon. It's already afternoon. Good afternoon. I was about to say good morning because I thought I was a few minutes early, but right on time today. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monarchs Mocha for Monday. We finally kind of got things back on track again. Coming to you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We just checked in about an hour ago. We'll roll the show open. We'll get talking Monarchs baseball in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. And I'll bring that down for you here if I can just kind of adjust the audio. There we go. Just bring it down a little bit. There we go. All right. Boy, I could sure use a couple of those right now, but I got to wait just for a few more minutes because I've got my workout to get in, then it's coffee time. But glad you're along. Of course, as always, we'll take your questions and comments during the show, brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company there in Kansas City. We will get out and about here in Milwaukee. It's a 4-game series, so we will get out and about perhaps tomorrow, for sure on Wednesday. We'll take you down into the inner workings of Milwaukee, what we did last year. We'll chat down there. But for today, we're in the hotel, Team Hotel, arriving, like I said, about an hour ago. And we've been at one of those. It was one of those good all-night rides. I say good. I mean, it's always a tough one when you leave at 2 a.m., but the team, no issues, arriving, like I said, about an hour ago. And a lot of the guys scattered for breakfast. There's a really good little breakfast nook just down the street, and maybe a half mile, quarter mile, something like that from the hotel. Kind of a local joint that a lot of the guys hit up when we're here. But we're here, and we're headed to Franklin, Wisconsin tonight at 6:35. And a lot to catch up on. Not a lot, just a little appetizer platter, what's going on. Not a lot of news. The only news that we really had to report is that the Monarchs placed Nick Belzer on the injured list. That would have been on Saturday after the ball game, Sunday, Saturday. Nick's with us, though, and can see him easily coming off and getting back into action on this trip. So just that's the only real note from the Swope Health report, really, brought to you by Swope Health. But that's pretty much the only piece of news from the weekend. As far as the Monarchs, of course, yesterday was off. I know I decompressed, and a lot of the guys decompressed. I know Joe decompressed. We all decompressed. For the first time, the All-Star break notwithstanding, because the All-Star break was a little different. Although the All-Star break, I did watch the Monday and Tuesday events and did a little work on Wednesday. I think Sunday was the first day I didn't touch anything baseball related until after the clock went to midnight. I mean, it was 2 o'clock on the bus last night where I started diving into the game notes. So that's kind of nice to have those rare days where you can decompress and kind of, okay, got to recharge the batteries or just replug in, or just step away for a moment in a 100-game season. And you guys know whatever it is we do, for me and for the team, it's a 100-game season. It's a daily, there's no off days, technically, really. I mean, a lot of times guys are off, they're throwing on the side or they're hitting in a cage, maybe squeezing a golf game or whatever. But, in any business that you're in, whether it be teaching or being a lawyer or a business owner, you don't get a lot of those decompression days. And yesterday was one of them. So that was good. I do believe you are hearing me. I'm double checking here. I didn't even check to look, but I'm sure you guys are. It appears you guys are. But the show is Monarchs Mocha. Been a lot of shows like this, but this is the original. It's the original in different forms, different names, but this is the original place, the first team to do this in our league, and it's something I'm always very proud of, especially when we hit the road. It's a 4-game series here too, against a team that's sort of trying to, uh, I want to say, find their way. That may be the bad example. Let's see if I can hear myself here. There we go. I do hear myself. Um, Anthony Barone's a really good manager here, and he guided this club to a championship 2 years ago in the COVID year. Um, I think very highly of him, and I think he's got a really destination place to play, much like Kansas City. Great facility, great support, all that. Has the foundation in place. They just haven't really got it churning consistently for them. It's some of those times you 3 steps forward, 4 back. What do you want to say? And they've sort of been that way. They're still having a good year. Don't get me wrong. They're still right there in the thick of things at the moment, 3rd position in the East Division. But I really thought they would be back. I thought they'd be the team up in the race in the East, and to start the year. I really did. I thought the way they went out in the 1-game playoff, I thought it boded well for the fans here and for this team. They're currently 10.5 games behind Chicago at 27 and 28. They remind me a lot of, just looking at their numbers today, they remind me a lot of a heavier hitting Lincoln, because they have a pretty good offense. They're 3rd in the league offensively. Their pitching's way down, but their offensive numbers are pretty good. This should be one of those series. There'll be a lot of offensive numbers. I can see that happening. Power numbers, not so much. I think they want to hit 54 home runs only. That's 1 per game, right? When the Monarchs hit 2 per game, something like that. 113 now. But I think they're going to see a very any news on why Guerrero retired. Garrett, the best I can give you is I don't think his body was holding up. I didn't notice it necessarily, because I don't notice this, on the field necessarily. But from what I understand, he was a little. And now going back and thinking about it and looking at some of his at bats, he was having some health issues. I think he just is a certain time, and I know, as much as I want to go out and run 5 miles a day or 2 miles or whatever, I got to walk them, right? I mean, I got the heel problem with me and the big toe, turf toe on the right toe, and of course I'm older. Now you take that back to a guy who's been playing competitive baseball at a high level since he could walk, and I think it was one of those situations where the body just started to really feel it. And I think everybody knows their body. It's like I talked about this last week on the broadcast on Friday night. I know my body, and I know when I'm not doing it right? I know when, for example, I was talking about this the other day. I was walking in the heat in Texas, and I felt fine. But there was a day and some humidity there in Kansas City where I really got zapped, and I didn't feel so good. And I knew that I need to kind of play, kind of pull back a bit. I kind of dialed it back a little bit. I was going at a good pace, and I dropped it down a little bit. Actually found a neighbor's sprinkler, put my head in the neighbor's sprinkler over there in KCK, and kind of cooled down a bit that humid day. I think you know your body. I think you know your limits. You know when something's, you've got to kind of, I'll even throw it this way to you, Garrett. I was at this wedding in Houston back in the spring, and my wife and I, she was razzing me all week about dancing, and I didn't know how much I could really dance, and not. But I realized quickly that because I've been walking so much, the dancing wasn't too bad, and I guess always, I want to be the guy out there sweating on the dance floor. I mean, you're that guy, but I mean, what I'm saying to you is, and trying to be in a tongue-in-cheek way, is I think at a certain point you push, and then dang it, this ain't right. I'm not feeling right. I can't do what I want to do at a high level. And I think that's where we all, in whatever it is we do, we hobby of, if you're a tennis player, a recreational golfer, whatever, eventually you've got to dial back from the 36 holes to 18 or whatever. So anyway, yeah. If you watched Hope, there was and I don't want to get too technical on what I saw, but I think what you were seeing, especially pitches away, there was a problem with the wrist and maybe the shoulder, and he was having a hard time getting around, where you would see him snap those wrists around. You would see that. You weren't seeing as much of that. There's still back at the box, he was still doing his thing. His ability to hit to all fields with command or even not command, he could hit a hit and run to right was something he could do, as well as he could hit the ball to right on a line to leave the ballpark. I mean, he had that ability to, that unique ability to swing, change his swing, and his effort to make it, make the ball do what he wanted to do. There was a guy years ago in the Southern League named Ruben Santana. Ruben Santana was a guy who used to call the man of many swings. This guy could literally swing different ways, and much like a Guerrero family trait. If you've ever seen his uncle could hit balls off the ground out of the ballpark. I mean, and I think Gabby was starting to get to that point now. That doesn't mean that he's. I still sort of feel like that he's got something left in the tank. He's still very young, but that's his call. I mean, I still think that when you heal up, and you never know, you heal up, and I'll tell you this, and I'll just use it, Garrett. What I'll say, for me, and I'll compare it to the old guy Dan Vaughn here. If I can get my heel hit fixed up a little bit, if I can get it to feel where it's not nagging me at night when I sleep, or because I'm still walking 75 minutes or whatever, 70 minutes a day, if I can get that healed up where it doesn't chronically bug me, I might be able to go and jog half that time, right? See what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not ruling out a return to jogging. I'm just saying that walking right now is much better for my heel, and I'm not saying, but time will tell that. Let's see here. His body was just, it was shifting a little bit. And I think that's what you were seeing. You were seeing that, especially on balls going to right and going away. You were seeing that. And you were seeing that. You guys saw that. Yes. Yeah. And I think that, you're hustling, and he's a hustler. I mean, all these guys are hustling, gunning, sprinting out there, having fun in a game. And I think the body may have caused him not to have as much fun. No, all good. No, you're all good. All good. Which leads us to the highlights from the weekend. I don't know what these are going to sound like, so I've not even heard them. To pull the curtain back, I like to have the highlights with audio, but I don't know how much of the audio it's going to be. So I'll play from Saturday. This is Saturday night's highlights. I'll play this from Saturday night. I'm going to see what we got here. And I'll talk over them if I need to, but let's just see what we got here towards KU night on Saturday night. Again, you're hearing the radio commercial. Diving. That was a great diving play, a tone setter there for Pete Cosmo.
See you later. Home run Hill.
Chad DeLaguerre, home run right there. It was midway up the home run hill.
Short, Cosmo will be there.
And it sort of met game on right there.
In time to the play.
That was a really good play there. There's the line to right. That's the Sweeney line to right.
Base it out to right field. Sweeney got a late jump. He'll be waved around anyway.
Double for Darnell, driving a run in.
We're tied at 4. Tonight, curveball, ground ball sharply to short. Right there, bobbled by Noriega. He has no play, and he bobbles it again. Get out to it right.
And I'm going to bring up something about that error in just a moment, too.
It will get down. Cosmos to Thompson.
There's a wild pitch to tie it up.
Contreras drops for a base hit. Here comes one run. Rounding. Here's a throw coming up. Sliding in as he's in there safe. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike three got him. And the game.
Don't miss your chance to witness history in the making as the world's toughest.
DeLaguerre here.
I love the highlight of John Hernandez laying like a snow angel behind the plate. I love that. I think that's great. I love that. That's a guy and a team having fun doing what they're doing there, and that's the highlights of the week. And again, some of the audio was in and out. That's why it stopped. Usually, I just play them through, and you guys hear all the audio highlights. That one was up and down. A couple of thoughts on that that reel though. Well, first off, great crowd, great Jayhawk crowd that night. Number two, Cosmo's defensive, and something Joe even said on the top step. What was it? Friday night, Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon after the Friday night game at the Inside the Park home run. You don't realize how important that position is at short, and you saw it right there. Cosma made a great diving play, sending a ball for the outfield, and that double play ball was not tough. It was a tough one because he's coming into a ball, and he either body's going to say, you know what, I'm going to go home because that's where my body's going, or I'm going to try to turn two. He did turn two, and that was not an easy turn at all to get that play at second. Outstanding work there at short by Pete Cosman. I think you see the value of that position, the shortstop position. They always talk about building a team up the middle, catcher, short, center. And that is a huge, huge play, huge tone setter. Noriega for them, by the way, makes that error and leaves the inning wide open. What I will tell you is this. This is a very hard game. Yes, the bats are on fire this weekend, Patrick, no doubt about it. And that's where I'm going with this. The bats are on fire, and this offensive club that the Monarchs have leaves teams little room for error. And I'll give you an example, two examples in the ballgame. First off, their starter, McRae, was their ace. He's got great numbers. That was the highest number of hits and earned runs he'd given up this year. And that second time through, Kansas City got to him. Or really second and a half time through, because I guess it was around again the top. They hit him hard, getting some hard outs in the ball game. And the first real hard hit ball was a home run for De La Guerre in the second. And that's like, okay, we're still here, and then we're down. What was it at the time, 2-1, and he fell down 4-1. But this offense creates such pressure on a team defensively in all facets of the ball game. I mean, you get your ace out there, has got to be daggone near, got to be on fire as well to keep you in it, because this offense is so good and so deep and such a challenge that you just can't take a break. And if you do make the error, which is going to happen in this game, it just compounds things. It puts so much pressure in defense to do. And you almost get the feeling like teams know that. And we've seen this happen before. We saw it happen in Cleveland, where, that extra inning ball game, with error at second base that gave the Monarchs the lead in extra innings. You just get the feeling these teams try so hard knowing that every out is huge. And it really puts so much pressure on them, defensively, pitching-wise, whatever. And the game's not designed to walk, folks. And, 2 walks and an error, that's 3 extra batters you're going to face a game. So let's just extrapolate it this way. If the Monarchs are through the roster or through the batting order to the starter 3 times, let's say 3 or 4 is better. And in that time, you've notched 9 hits. Well, I mean, that means the pitcher is going to see more of the Monarchs. If a guy goes out there and throws 3-hit ball for 6 innings, there's fewer. A, you're seeing fewer pitches. B, they're seeing fewer of you. And again, it's that churn that lineup card around and getting that 3rd and 4th time through. And if your defense, and then you put the pressure on, because those things are going to happen. You're going to walk them. And that's why we talk about all the time, too. And I'm kind of talking in a real broad circle here. That's why strikeouts are huge, because that means the ball's not in play. Every time a ball's put in play, something good can happen. And whether it be an error or a base hit, or something good can happen for the defense. And that's why you want to put the ball in play, where it counts, and put the ball in play. And this team does that, and it puts so much pressure on the opposition that they just, and that you can just feel that. You could feel that the Doghounds knew that their lead was precarious at best, and that they know what their bullpen's like. I mean, these guys know. They know where they are in the standings, and I think they're going to be better, much better. Speaking of standings, let me check those for you, and I am proving to be once again a genius. Can you believe Cleveland's won 8 in a row? How about that? They've been red hot since they last saw the Monarchs. They've been red hot, and they found themselves now 4th position in the East. So Chicago, 9.5 games ahead of Kane County. Chicago with the win over Fargo yesterday, more on that in a moment. They have the best record in the league now. Kane County, 29-28. They're 9.5 back in that East Division. But everybody else is 500 or above 500 or below. A game above for Kane County. Milwaukee is 2 below. Then everybody else, 10 below for Cleburne. And it's 11 below for Gary. And 13 below, for Lake Country. In the West, Kansas City now we find ourselves in first place in the division this morning. Well, lo and behold, how that happened? Well, Fargo got beat for the third straight time by Chicago. That catapults Chicago into the top record and also drops Fargo a half game behind Kansas City because the Monarchs were idle yesterday. And the Monarchs can gain a whole half game back today, a win tonight, because Fargo is off tonight. Only 2 games in action tonight. It's Lincoln and Sioux City, I believe, and then, of course, this one right here in Milwaukee. So a lot changed in the last 36 hours, but that's the case of Monarchs' second-best record. And, again, a half-game lead over Fargo. Winnipeg is 7.5 back, 30-26. Lincoln is 11 back, 26-29. Then 13.5 back for Sioux Falls, and then 15 back for Sioux City. Lincoln, don't look now, has dropped 4 in a row, and Sioux Falls has won 8 of 10. And as I mentioned, too, earlier this year, that they have been so good early, Sioux Falls, over the last couple of seasons, that maybe flipping it and maybe flipping the script is what they're doing, because they find themselves only 2.5 games behind Lincoln. So interesting times in the middle or bottom of the pack and interesting times up top. Really, it's a 1-team race in the East, a 2-team race in the West for number 1 position. And everybody else drops down considerably. Although Fargo does lurk 7 back. Winnipeg lurks 7 back. Again, the class of the division, obviously, records tell us, are the folks in Fargo who we'll see this weekend, and, of course, your Monarchs. So it's a delicious week of baseball that all begins right here in Milwaukee. Let's see what David's got. David says, we'll be up in August to watch my Monarchs. Yes. Awesome, David. Looking forward to seeing it. Seeing you. My Joplin Outlaws are first place in their division. There you go. How about that, David? Good to see you, mate. Miss you, man. I like to see you having. I know things are going good for you down in Joplin as we follow each other on social and all that. And but miss you, man. I just you're all. I'm always indebted to you because you turned me on the greatness of Owls in Parkville. Yes. Which unfortunately last night on the way back from the airport, I took my wife to the airport. The kitchen was closed. Oh well, all good. But I'll be there next week, so all good. Sunday night, the closed a little early on Sunday, but anyway, all good. What else you guys got? Anybody else have anything out today? I don't have anything except for just the preview of the series here. Again, tonight, 6:35, tomorrow, 6:35, Wednesday, Thursday. By the way, Thursday, it is the American Association game of the week. Oh, I was just being snarky because I knew I probably wasn't going to make it last night. I could have probably I've gotten the point, David, that you've got me so hooked into that place that I've actually can call now and just ask whoever's on duty that, hey, I'm coming in. Can you get me some wings? I'll be there in an hour or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, I love that place. Best wings in KC. Anyway, but yes, Thursday night, the American Association Game of the Week will be on Facebook on their site, and we'll have that as well. Now, what that means for our broadcast, I will not know till tonight. I believe my belief is we will not dual stream on Thursday. What's been happening on these games of the week, only a few places, Kansas City being one of them, can dual stream, tri-stream, and we can actually dual stream the broadcast plus do the Facebook Live. I don't know if they can do that here. I have no idea. And I'm going to go about the attitude as they probably can't, which is fine. But tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we'll be on the dual stream on AE Baseball TV. So we do know that. Now, on Thursday night, you'll have to watch AE Baseball's coverage on the Milwaukee side, or you'll have to watch it on the association side, or just tune into us. And it's your call, and I love it. You guys tune in with us. I'm very happy with that. Again, that's a quirk in the association thing, and the league's trying to promote the A baseball TV, which I'm telling you about right here, and promote what's going on and give the folks a free game. And it's what Carter does too. Carter does a really good job. Former voice of the Canaries and now works for the league. He's the league guy now. And what Carter does is kind of do a Manning style cast. He'll call the game remotely. And this is the only way remote broadcasts work. The only way they're going to work in baseball, okay, is this way. He's calling remotely. He has guests on, like the Manning cast, where he's going to talk about, for example, if you're going to do a game in Kansas City, you're going to get somebody from the museum or somebody from the ball club or local media. He'll probably do the same thing. You'll probably have a Milwaukee media person, someone from the Milkman, someone tied into this organization to give some different perspective on the ball game, because you're not there and you're reinventing the wheel by calling it remotely, but doing it remotely this way is a really good product. It's a fun, different way to watch the game. It's like basically sitting around your coffee table or the pub table, watching the game and chatting. Kind of what you get. And I think it's kind of cool. Anyway, that's on AA Baseball TV on Thursday, but all nights this week we are on, except for Thursday, we do believe. Now, I'll get an update for you tomorrow and let you know, but everything else is going to be on MixLR, which is right here. I'll get to you in just a second there, my mate. A couple of things there on the screen to get to. There we go. There's our radio broadcast right there, and that's where you get all the pre and post game. Unfortunately, because the nature of the crews in all the cities, they don't carry the post game show in its entirety or the pregame shows in their entirety. Every place is different, and there's timing and got hours and all that kind of, they're working and all that. It's different. But I just go ahead and say that in general, at the final out, just jump over to the radio side. If you're watching on AA Baseball TV, which I hope you are, when you're final out, jump back on the radio side. Or what I suggest, if you're away from the TV, obviously be tuning in to AA Baseball TV. Or, tuning in to MixLR. If you're away from AA Baseball TV, tune in to MixLR's app. But number two, you can also turn down the yes, I know you'll be there. You know for sure. Turn down the audio on the app, on the radio app, and you can chat with us on the app while you're watching on the video. Let's see here. David, Eric says, how did DV been there? Any talk this week? You've been gone. That's right. I've been out adding a player to the roster. I would say that's pretty much a slam dunk. I don't know who it'll be, but I would figure so. Right now, the team's got 2 players on the injured list and a roster that already was a little shorthanded anyway. But yes, I would see that probably happening. I would see something. You've only got 3 outfielders. You like to have a 4th. I don't know who that would be, but I do believe that is something. If you know Shaggy as well as I do, if you followed what Joe's done over the years since 17, he does cultivate that roster, and he's going to find another piece someplace. Now, who that is, I don't know as of yet, but we'll find out. Obviously, when it happens, we're the first ones to know here. But I would imagine that's in the works. I don't think. And I think as long as Kevin Santos stays healthy, it won't be an infielder, it'll be an outfield type, is what I think. Now, Santos got that groin issue, and I hope he's all good. And he was really good the other night, and we just kind of watch. It's kind of been one of those it's been a touch and go thing for him. But I think that's the only way I would see one more infielder added is if that was a problem. I don't think it is, and I'll ask Joe that tonight. But what I think they will add will be a outfield piece. Maybe a outfield / DH piece. Of course, Ibanel Isabel is on the visa list. He's still eligible for this ball club should his visa get worked out. That's a complicated process that is too lengthy to discuss right now, but it is a process that all teams have now. We mentioned this before. The visas are different now. They've changed things. You add the 9/11, you've added now COVID. And the way things are, it has, of course, things are different. and they're a little harder sometimes to get than they were before. And so definitely the visa thing is it's a problem for a lot of clubs. That's why I have a visa list. Yes, he played had 3 hits the other night, but again, I think there's just anytime, and it's like Nick Bells or any guy that's been down, you're a little worried that there's no reoccurrence there. And again, that's the only scenario. But what I see happening, and again, this is just me as a fan in the booth, and what I've seen is, Eric, is that you're going to see a outfield piece because you need an extra outfielder. I mean, right now that's one place I don't know who would go out there. Probably Casey Gillespie would be forced to go out there. Then you got to move who's going to play first and all that. So, probably Matt Adams plays first. There's all kinds of, or Chasey Escobar plays first. That's probably what would happen. But you hate to have your catchers both playing at the same time. But again, pleasant problems to have when you're 17 above, 18 above, and you're rolling right along. But long answer, yeah, I would see an outfielder coming. I would think. I would also think probably. I would just guess this is what happened last 2 years. This is also time to start looking for a versatile piece. Justin Donatello, for example, comes to mind of a guy that was added around this time last year. A versatile piece. A guy could pitch in relief, pitch as a starter. And I think you might see a body or two like that. Also, the draft just happened. There will be some trickle down there. There'll be some guys released that were maybe not going to be released, who will be released now. There'll be some guys who choose not to sign and who may go the indie ball route as well. There's some different scenarios. Organizations will be making some moves, although not as many as before, because they're stockpiling players left and right at AAA and AA anyway. But anyway, did I read? Yes. Did you, Brian? You're right. Mick Wern is here. He's in Milwaukee. Mick is the director of baseball operations, and he also does really a jack of all there in Victoria with the Melbourne Aces. He's with the Melbourne Aces there in Victoria, one of the clubs in the Australian Baseball League. He's on a recruiting, fact-finding mission, if you will, that he does every year when and does a great job. They love independent players. I believe he was in Kane County yesterday. He'll be here tonight. We saw them. We had him on the broadcast on Thursday night. Good mate of mine. But yes, you heard that right. You heard that right. So yes, indeed. All righty. Last call here, folks, because I gotta get my workout in and get some lunch and get the game notes done. These are the challenging days of the broadcaster, because as much as that bed is calling my name right here, it will stay made. That bed's going to stay made until tonight. I'll fight through it and be ready to go on adrenaline. And usually these are my best days on the air. So I hope you'll join me tonight on the broadcast. And luckily the haircut means my hair wasn't too bus heavy either. So that's good. But yes, hope you'll join me in the broadcast tonight. I was looking at a couple of things for the broadcast. I'm going to go back. Remember, we got behind schedule on Saturday because Monarchs Live was late, and we wanted to run Monarchs Live. So I squeezed Monarchs Live into the broadcast, which was kind of cool, which we may do that again. I may actually start doing that with Jackson and I's open. We shot for the video. I squeezed the audio in, so I had to cut 101, the very tail end. I will bring that to you tonight. And tonight's 101, which I believe was from I'm going to recut Jim Lamarck's The Story. Fantastic lefty that pitched for the Monarchs back in the 1940s. A guy that I'm going to talk a little bit about him tonight on Monarchs 101 with DV. And also the Monarchs flashback moment. I believe we're going to 1934. A game the Monarchs are playing in Canada in 1934 on this date. So that'll be coming up in the pregame show. And you're around the American Association, brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers, Joe Capietra's Top Step. And actually the around the association and Top Step, both by the Midwest Ford dealers. And we'll have you ready for the broadcast tonight. Pitching matchup, John Harris going. And I do have Milwaukee's. It is going to be, I haven't put them in the notes yet, but Milwaukee's will be right-hander. Let's see, right-hander Christian Young. is going tonight for the Milkmen. They're a little bit in flux. They've signed a guy. They've again, their team's sort of trying to. They're firmly into their place, right? I mean, it's gonna be hard for Cleburne or Gary to catch them, but I think that they got a chance to get the number 2 spot if they can shuffle the deck chairs and make some moves, and they've done that, and they're kind of a team sort of reshuffling things at the moment, but they're getting below 500, and their offense is good, so it should be a great matchup. But Christian Jones going tonight for the Milk, and let's see, let me give you his numbers too. I did not pull those up. Let me give you those real quickly here. And Christian Young, I say Jones Young, is a rookie at the Mercyhurst in Pennsylvania, 4-4 over 2 years, 5.92. This year, 2-2 and a 4.41. He's made 3 starts, so he's making his 4th start. He was a spot starter last week, and he's going to the rotation, I believe, today for the Milkmen. And they have a TBA on Thursday. So again, that shows you when you got a TBA and a guy coming from the bullpen, they're kind of trying to reset their rotation, and that's what they're trying to do. They probably got another arm coming in and resetting things up. So all good. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Now we're going to do this show this week on the road in Milwaukee. Last year we had a great time. We went downtown to a really cool coffee shop that I loved here in town. It's old building. It's on right by the lake, and it's kind of a cool little area. We'll go down there. We also did the show from one of the renowned pizza joints in Milwaukee as well. There's an outside chance. This is an outside chance. I'll get the Bobblehead Museum. That was the other goal, to get the show from there as well. But I don't know. Again, that's sort of in the plans. So stay tuned in the noon hour, and I will let you guys know on the broadcast tonight. It might even be moved back a bit, but I'll let you guys know tonight. But we'll take this show on the road as we're on the road. Monarchs Mocha, brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company. The Nitro Cold Brew I had over the weekend, you guys heard all about that. It was outstanding. W40 went down and picked me up some down at the factory location, and also got me some over at Price Chopper. Yes, it's as far as we're going to go, Kevin. That's where we went last year. Last year when we were here, I shot the show from there. They let me shoot it, but they were closed. The dining room was closed. Wisconsin had a lot more. Of all the places we went to last year, their COVID rules in Milwaukee were a little tougher. And last year, I went. The Falls people were great. They were awesome, but their dining room was closed. I was going to shoot at the bar, so I did shoot at the bar while my pizza was being made. It took me a pizza to go back to the hotel. So that was last year's Zafaro's experience. We'll probably do that again. We'll do something Milwaukee is. We may not go there. I'd like to go there again because it was great. They were great to us. So, but again, we'll be making some rounds around Milwaukee here. And, of course, this weekend on Friday, Fargo will probably be there'll probably be no show on Friday because we have a 9-hour ride over there. This is an 8:44 ride and a 9:15 ride this trip. And back home for, I guess, about 8 hours home. This is the longest mileage in hours trip combined. Now, there's going to be some that are going to be rivaling this. Those Winnipeg's up and back, notwithstanding, but at least the Winnipeg go to Lincoln and up, and then Sioux City or Sioux Falls and up. You're kind of going straight up. We're going vroop, 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 with a vroop. Anyway. All right, tomorrow at noon, again tonight, airtime at 6 o'clock. We'll roll Steve Warner's jam and we might even, maybe some ABBA jams. I don't know. We'll roll something then and come your way tonight from Franklin, Wisconsin. And we'll also, DB's going to be here, which means I'm going to break the diet again. I'll have to eat salad for lunch so I can have a milkshake from the ballpark. I get one every time we come here. They're a must for the broadcast crew. All the restaurants in Milwaukee have a sanitation sheet in the window showing the Great Recede. Lakefront Brewery would be a good spot to the show. They have a dining hall. I have that on my list, I believe, on my little circle. There's like 6 places that I've kind of wanted to go to, Kevin, and that's one of them. And it's right down from where the coffee shop is that I usually go to that has a great cold brew as well. I can't remember the name of the coffee shop. I'll think of it later. Anyway. All righty. All good, folks. All good, all good. Just got word the team will hit today at 4:30. They're going to be taking BP. So that's kind of cool. Good sign. Team's going to be hitting at 4:30. Weather out there looks delightful. 80s, it looks like. A little breezy in the 80s. And I'm going to hit the streets here in just a moment. All ready for the... Already Wisconsin. Yes, we're ready. We're already there. Already here. We're in the hotel. Got in at 11. So the only thing is I couldn't take the show out on the road today, but we will tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. And Fargo on Friday. I hope to do a show on Friday from Fargo. They've got a really cool shop downtown that I love to go to that we've been to several times. And we've also, in years past, I think it was 17, we shot the show at the Roger Maris exhibit there at the mall. But again, all depends on just the timing of things and how much we get done and all that. But of course, no show on Saturday, Sunday. Maybe what I do is a special Saturday show. How about that? You guys want to do that? Maybe do a special Saturday show. That sounds like a winner. All right. I got to go. Got to work out. Got to get some lunch. Bring this down here. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. You guys ready for some 1, 2, 3 go Monarchs? I know you are. We always are ready for that. Bring this down. Here we go. All righty. Again, I'm not getting that bed. I'm going to go work out. Promise you. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go Monarchs. I'll see the broadcast night, everybody. Oh, by the way, there we go. There it is. The broadcast night. See the broadcast night, everybody. Promise. There we go.